stop liking someone, specifically a straight guy?
A question for the ages.
Elle struggles to settle into her new school as Charlie and Tao are convinced Nick is straight. Nick starts to question his unfamiliar feelings. Hello, entertainment enthusiasts. This is Ray, and this is the Fandom Realm. And today I'm reviewing episode number 2 of Heartstopper. As always, spoilers abound, so just be aware. Of course, we're moving on to episode 2 of Heartstopper in our basic countdown to the new season. And we're on to episode number 2. Just to remind you, I love the series. There are several series I'm very high on, and this is one of them. But just to remind you what happened last time, stuck in a secret relationship, Charlie started to crush on Nick, the school's popular rugby star, and joined the team against his friend's advice. With that, let's take a look at episode number 2, called Crush. Okay, so here we go with Nick and Charlie. And if you're not realizing that picture, that is sort of a picture of Charlie going into the locker room area.
Oh, what a weirdo. Such a loser.
And how uncomfortable and how scared that makes him feel. And of course, Nick is just starting to realize what that is and what's going on. Okay. I love them using texting here. I'm just really glad they do a better job of it than most. Although I would like them to put it up on screen a little bigger. But generally speaking, you can actually read it on the screen. Of course, they're trying to come up with ways to talk to each other here.
Heard about you coming out last time.
Yeah, I guess.
And of course, this starts out with Charlie basically explaining how he came to be with Ben.
No one was supposed to know.
And he was outed at some point.
I'm Ben.
And Ben is going to make the move. Of course, nobody is liking Ben at this point. Ooh, that was an interesting statement to put in. Not really what he was hoping for. Okay, now that takes some guts right there. Oh, and he doesn't send anything back to him. Okay, this first group of clips here basically introducing us to this second episode, and really the big thing here is the texting back and forth and trying to get some background on each other, and especially what is going on with Charlie and Ben. And of course, you have a situation where Nick's not very happy with Ben. Ben is, I guess, one of his in his friend group, and he's not going to be happy about that. And of course, Charlie starts to come on a little there, but Nick doesn't really get it, I don't think, at this point. Okay, off to the girls' school.
Half term next week. How about you promise me you'll try to make at least one new friend before then?
And a teacher that seems to care. It has to be hard to change schools. especially when you're in a situation like Elle is in.
He's straight, Charlie. Like, you only need to glance him to see that he's a massive heterosexual.
I love this conversation.
Masculine guys can be gay. And no offense, but you're not exactly the authority in working out who is and isn't.
Well, I mean, some people probably shouldn't be chatting about that.
How do I stop liking someone, specifically a straight guy?
A question for the ages.
Okay, great scene there. I like that Charlie has a teacher he can talk to.
He's a really good friend.
I'm afraid you're just gonna have to suffer then.
Real life advice in any situation.
Cool. I can barely draw stick figures. Do you want to meet up with us for lunch today?
I feel your pain on only being able to draw stick figures.
Hi. So, Tara said you had no friends. I didn't say that.
Oh, I love her. She just says whatever she's thinking.
Yeah, Trium was just hell for me, so... I mean, it was hell for almost everyone.
Okay, so we know she came from the boys' school.
Have you two been friends for a long time? Best gal pals.
And she's not really realizing what's going on just yet.
You should come around my house and meet her. Are you free on Saturday?
Uh-oh.
Hi.
Oh, she just turns up in different places.
Is my hair too short?
It looks the same.
But is that okay?
It looks the same.
He's always fixing that mop head of his. It's crazy. Okay, a second set of clips here. Basically, for this, we are moving on to talk a little bit about Elle. So we see Elle starting to maybe develop a new friendship group here. She's looks like she's having some questions about Tara and Darcy and sort of what kind of relationship they have. And so that'll move on. Also, the idea of, and I love that they're talking about this, is knowing someone's sexuality based on the way they look. And that can be very dangerous. So don't do that. Okay, coming up to somebody new's house. Never a nice feeling.
Hey. This is Nellie.
She is a gorgeous little dog.
You got a haircut.
Is it?
Again, on the hair. Goodness.
Nellie, can you just let me? Can you let me win one time? You've already won like 5 or 6 games.
Yeah, and I'm going...
Okay, and this is done very blatantly here.
You're good at this.
You get to be good at real sports, I get to be good at fake ones.
No, you're just good at everything.
Basically, to say, hey, Charlie is good at everything or a lot of things.
Shut up!
You know it's true. Get off me. Get off.
Which can be a stereotype that gay guys are not good at things like sports. Okay, getting ready to go outside. We've got some odd snow. To be honest, the first time I ever watched this, I thought the snow was a little laughable. It didn't take me out of it, but it's just not real snow. Doesn't look like real snow. And the sun is out in the middle of the day. And it's snowing with the sun out in the middle of the day. Does that only happen in the UK?
Lovely boy. When did you meet him?
A couple of months ago.
Bringing Olivia Colman in here.
He's in my form.
He's very different to your other friends, isn't he?
Okay.
You seem much more yourself around him.
So Mom is noticing some difference. Okay, back to school.
Who are you texting?
Oh, so you're going to text and get interrupted. Not
He's
good.
definitely chirping someone.
If only everyone knew who he was texting. And, of course, you'll erase the text. Okay, this series of clips, we had Charlie visit Nick's house, and they had a pretty good time. They went out and played in the completely fake snow. I loved it. Hey, I complained about the snow, and I'll always complain about the snow, but it was cute. Okay, it did what they wanted it to, or they got what they wanted to achieve out of it, and that's fine. But I don't know. It's so blatantly not weather that you're going to have snow, and as fast as it turned around and snowed. But if you're from the UK, does it happen like that? Some places you can go from sun to snow in a snap of fingers. Okay, Nick playing rugby.
Nick scored most of points.
Oh, he's the rugby king.
And Charlie and Tao
You know how I
watching.
thought you were straight?
Yes.
Well, I've
Okay, so he's starting to feel
I'm
some feelings here.
feeling like maybe he isn't. Like he might let me back.
I mean, he's. I don't know that he's
Said the next
liking you
single
back
guy's
yet,
Super interested in this girl from the girls' school.
but he's definitely giving off some
As your
vibes of
token
being
straight
interested.
friend, it's my duty to remind you that sometimes people are straight.
Okay, so we're down to Tara Jones.
Yeah.
Can you ask her if she likes Nick Nelson?
Nick Nelson.
I love Elle's reaction here.
I'm too busy being the cool, mysterious new girl who everyone wants to hang out with.
I'm fine.
So things are going well for her. So we'll see.
Okay, look, if and only if I get the chance, I'll ask her.
Oh, what a good friend.
Can we be a group of three?
I'm going to tell you, this is sly as heck here.
Vous avez un petit ami. Oui, j'ai une petite amie.
Okay, she has a girlfriend.
Tara, vous avez un petit ami.
Non, je n'ai pas un petit ami.
So she asked Tara if she had a girlfriend or boyfriend.
Sorry, I'm definitely straight. Like, I only like girls.
And of course, Tara said no. Of course, things are hard for Charlie here because he keeps just knowing things are going to turn against him. Okay, so of course, Charlie invites Nick over to his house.
Rubbing off on me. Even worse. You're getting worse. It doesn't matter if you said it because I was.
Okay, so Elle's going to walk in on the two of them.
Idea here, but are you two like dating?
Okay, and so they are a couple.
Only a few of our friends know, but I think you're officially part of the inner circle.
Okay, with this set of clips, the big thing I'm just going to hit here is this back and forth about what is Nick. Okay, is he straight? Is he bi? Is he gay? Is he, does he have a girlfriend in Tara? And it's something that the friend group is. Some of them are trying to be supportive of Charlie. Of course, you have Tao, who very much doesn't want to see him get hurt again. He sort of has an idea of what's been going on with Ben, of course. And so that's a bit of this episode.
Hey. Hey.
Okay, Nick showing up at Charlie's door. Okay, sharing a seat to play the drums. Okay, and our physical contact there with the hands on the hands for the drumsticks. Okay, and I think that little scene right there, that is where Nick knew. And then you get into this scene where he's wanting to hold hands. He is really, 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 really wanting to hold hands, but he just can't.
You look so cuddly like that.
Okay. And so this is pretty much confirmation. That's a big old hug for somebody that is just a friend. And again, right there, he sort of realized it.
I don't think he's straight.
And she just pops up out of nowhere again and states the obvious. So now Nick's going to have some issues. So he's going to go look at all the photos they took while they were out at his house. Every single word of the conversation we just had. Okay, and I love all those photos and the way they did those. I saw a girl crying on the train. And they're going to chat a little bit. And then here goes Nick asking the question of Google. And there it is. He asked Google the question, and we're going to get more of the answers on the next episode. But basically, this section of clips, basically Charlie or Nick visits Charlie at his house. And Nick is having the feelings at this point, and they did a very good job of filming, I think, to show that while keeping it very subtle, and just looks on Nick's face and the almost hand holding. That's something that very big in this section and in this episode. Now, with that, everybody, that ends our recap section. I'm going to go into our review section now, which basically is just me going through and giving you ups and downs and likes and dislikes and rants and raves and all kinds of things like that. And hopefully not taking too awful long, because we want to finish this video in a realistic amount of time. So, starting out, positives, and there were tons of them. But I love, and I haven't talked about this yet, I love the music in this episode. It is almost perfect every step of the way. It highlights what's going on really well. It's positive. I don't think I can remember much of the music in this episode, or even in the series, that makes you feel down. It's making you feel very heartwarming and fun, and it keeps things positive. And I think they did a very good job of that. And it's one of those things, I'm not sure they do music for TV shows like they do, they'll do music for movies at like the Oscars. I don't know if they do it at the Emmys, but boy, I thought I haven't seen a better use of music in a series than in Heartstopper. Okay, so that's a huge up. I loved basically the way they went. Charlie, of course, visited Nick's. Nick visited Charlie's, and that gets us some background there. We find out a lot about, of course, Nick has his dog, and they go out and play in the snow. And then they get to Charlie's, and they play the drum. That gives them a chance to have a little bit of innocent physical contact. And sort of that's where, when Nick gets to Charlie's, we see that there's something going on here, okay, for Nick. So big positive there. Also, big positive for just the way they use Olivia Colman, just to highlight certain things in the plot, okay? And the idea that basically Nick is a different person around Charlie, different than the other friends. I know Olivia Colman was a very limited guest on this, but I love the way they used her all the way through. Now, I'll hit just a little negative here, and this is going to, I'm actually covering two things. At the end of the day, all of the little animations, the butterflies and the little birds and the sizzling when they were getting ready to touch hands, when Nick was getting ready to hold Charlie's hand. Basically, you had a situation here. It still seems a little childish to me. I know what they're going after. It's okay. After the first time watching, I've been okay with it. It isn't distracting. But the first time I watched through, it was a little distracting from what was going on. And it's still one of those things I'm not sure they couldn't have done without it. And part of that is, those animations are done to sort of stress the feelings that are going on. And I think you're able to, just an average person is able to figure that out. They don't need the animations to show you. So it seems like it's something that's done more for like 10-year-olds than teenagers, okay, or anyone older. All right. And then, of course, a big positive sort of to Nick's reaction at the end. He is feeling something at this point, and he can't really deny it. So he's doing what probably tons of teenagers do out there and starts questioning his sexuality. He goes on Google. I would imagine if you could find out what questions are asked most on Google, that question is probably one of the biggest, I would guess. Okay. And so I think they played it really well. I like how they play and let music and sort of what's happening fill in for dialogue. And I've heard a few people that are upset that they think there's a little more dialogue needed, but I don't think so. I think the dialogue is perfect. When they needs to say something, they do. When they don't, and they need something else to tell the story, they're able to do that. Okay? Now, I think mostly I've said pretty much what I wanted to get out here. If it's not in the last couple minutes, it's in the review section. It was between each section of slides. So with that, I'm going to give episode 2 an A. I thought it was a very good episode. Lots of information. The acting was great. Loved the music. It probably would have been an A+ episode if it weren't just for the little things like that snow, and maybe a little bit, when I'm talking about the animations. But very solid episode. Love the episode. Can't wait to get to episode 3 for you all. With that, I hope you enjoyed the review of episode 2 of the first season of Heartstopper. Remember, we are just a little over a month away from season number 2. With that, I hope everybody, again, enjoyed the review. Please take a minute to subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, and of course, comment below so we can have a discussion about what we watched in episode 2 of Heartstopper. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time on the Fandom Realm.